Ladybird deeds. What are they? What do they do? Let's take a quick glimpse. Ladybird deed basically says this. Let's say I own a house with my wife. And typically homes are set up to be held as tenants in common. So if I pass away, my wife has to actually go and probate my portion of the house because my estate owns it at that point. She has to go through the probate courts in order to get it into her name, assuming she's my 100% beneficiary. With a Ladybird deed, you can actually say, we are community property with rights of survivorship. So if I die in that situation, my portion of the home goes fully to my wife. She doesn't have to go through the probate court. So that's a benefit. There's typically few post-death title issues. So it also says after she dies, who gets it? Let's say it goes to my kids outright or to my trust. There's typically few post-death title issues, but some title companies will fuss. They'll want a MERP release to make sure there's no potential Medicaid estate recovery program recovery against your estate out there. That's possible. Not many title companies do that, but some do. One of the benefits is that a power of attorney can create and or revoke a Ladybird deed, which you can't typically do with a transfer on death deed. So that's a benefit that it has over a transfer on death deed. There's no 2-year waiting period post-death. Sometimes title companies under a transfer on death deed want a beneficiary to wait 2 years before they'll actually insure title on that property. You're not going to have that issue typically with a Ladybird deed. A Ladybird deed normally, not always, but normally conveys warranty, which is good. And a new Ladybird deed revokes an old Ladybird deed. Unlike a transfer on death deed, which typically you have to revoke the old transfer on death deed, file that, then file a new transfer on death deed. Some cons. Courts could hold that transfer on death deeds because they have their statutory vehicle. They could hold transfer on death deeds statutory requirements to Ladybird deeds, and thus Ladybird deeds could potentially fall under the same issues regarding title insurance because Ladybird deeds are based on case law and transfer on death deed is based on a statute by the government. If there's multiple beneficiaries in a Ladybird deed, then there could potentially be some fighting post-death. Like one may want to hold it, one may want to sell it. That could cause a problem. So you could always name your living trust as the beneficiary, for example. That's one way to resolve that problem. You shouldn't have any due on sale clause issues, but some lenders will start enforcing due on sale clauses with Ladybird deeds. So it's been uncommon. We haven't seen it much. I haven't seen it at all, but I'm sure it's happened. But some lenders may actually say that it violates the due on sale clause. Now you can argue the Saint Germain if it qualifies under the Saint Germain protection. But anyways, this is not exhaustive. I'm not telling you everything about Ladybird deeds. I'm just giving you an overarching view of some of the pros, some of the cons, kind of how they work. And I hope it was helpful. I'm Mike Massey. I've helped over 1,000 families with estate planning, asset protection, real estate, etc. Love to have a conversation with you. Contact us at Mike Massey Law, mytxwills.com. Mike Massey Law, mytxwills.com.